somebody sees you. Somebody will never leave you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Get this lower down. There we go. Hey, all right. Mute it over here. And we mute there. Good morning. My name is Sean Murphy. I hope you're all doing well. Let me get Instagram lit up here. And today the conversation is going to be about what happens when we cause pain in our bodies. What happens when we eventually wind up wanting to lead and we're in enough pain and we decide to get out of the pain. Let's see here. Cancel that. Cancel. There we go. Hey, all right. Here we go. All right. And the challenge is that we wind up wanting to lead people. Well, the challenge is that you've confused leadership with mentoring. You've confused leadership with helping people get where they want, not where you want. The conversation for today is stop nexting. Stop nexting. The problem with nexting is that we have this known future that we believe is supposed to happen. We have this known future that we believe should happen. We have this thing. How many of you have ever said, listen carefully, here's how you will know for sure if you are nexting in your conversations. You ready? You say things like, this would be so good for them. Good morning, Peggy. How are you in Singapore? Big hugs to you. Thank you for always showing up and supporting me. We say things like, this would be so good for them. How many of you know that phrase, that philosophy of don't judge, don't judge the people you're about to go have a conversation with? Well, here's the reality. The challenge is that when you start to think of who this would be good for, even if you try to not judge, I'm not going to judge. I'm just not going to judge. What do you wind up doing? You wind up judging just a little bit. This is what's called addiction to approval. Here's the real challenge. You're addicted to the future of your thoughts. Follow me on this. If you have this fear that somebody's going to reject you, when are they going to reject you? No, I mean, in your mind right now, if you're going to go do a presentation, if you're going to go lead, if you're going to go do a call, if you're going to do a presentation, if you're going to go show the plan, when are they rejecting you? They're rejecting you right now. It may be in the future, but aren't you predicting the future? Aren't you nexting your future? And aren't you killing the sale before you even get there? And you say things like, man, this would be so good for them. I don't know why they said no. I knew they'd say no. I knew I knew they didn't want it. And we justify our pain by saying we knew that. So if you knew all of this, then how do you know what your future is? And this dream that you set, this desire that you want, this dream that you have, how is it ever going to show up if you know everything that's supposed to happen? This is what Tony Robbins talks about in the 6 human needs, not Maslow's 6 human needs, hierarchy of needs. This is what Tony Robbins talks about: certainty and security. If you live in certainty and security, you will be in pain, period, end of story. If you woke up this morning and grabbed your phone, if you woke up this morning and checked your texts, if you woke up this morning and used the same bathroom you normally use, maybe you only have one bathroom in your house, if you woke up this morning and brushed your teeth the same way, if you woke up this morning and walked the same path, if you woke up this morning and drank the same coffee, if you woke up this morning, you have nexted yourself into an addiction that you are not approving of, and therefore your day turns to hell in a handbasket before you even know it. Yeah, this is big stuff. I get it. And when you start activating your brain and when you start going deep, you really need to make sure your brain is fed. This conversation powered by ketones. You like that? You see how I did that? The thing that kills relationships is nexting. The thing that kills parenting is nexting. We call it expectation. You should have done that. Why did you do that? Then we ask, why did you do that? And then you know why they did that. And then you know what your response is going to be. And you know what the argument it should be all the way through the whole process. So these arguments where people talk about makeup sex, I don't know about that because we don't have arguments. Maybe we should. I don't know. Maybe we should. I heard it's pretty good stuff, but I don't know why you would need to have that low. Maybe it's not so good. You follow me? Listen, this is going to hurt a little bit. Maybe that makeup sex isn't so good because you were so low. You got to average and you've just been having average sex and you think it's awesome. You're a goofball. What if you weren't nexting and you were on the beach lapping the water up on you and the water was lapping at your feet and you were having romances other than sand kind of getting everywhere? It might be that might be a little better, wouldn't it? How the hell did we get to sexting on the text on the sand and what? My point is this. When you stop nexting your life, when you stop this idea of what they should do, what they could do, what they are supposed to do, if you start living your life and stop nexting everybody else's, right? Do as I say, do, not do as I do, right? That's a good line for parents. That's the one they use all the time. Well, but you do it. You smoke. Yeah, but you shouldn't smoke. Oh, okay. So it's okay for you. Well, it's not okay for me, but I'm an idiot. You drink, you cuss, you swear, you do all these things. Well, yeah, but you shouldn't do that. Okay. How's that for leadership? How's that for setting examples? When you don't use your product. How many of you use your product? How many study your back office? How many understand the things that you need to understand in your business? How many of you understand human nature? See, all of that becomes mute when you understand human nature and you decide that you're writing a contract with yourself. And this contract you're deciding to write with yourself, you're the only one that signs it. The only thing I can guess that you're falling short on your goals, that you're falling short on your dreams, is that you haven't signed your contract yet. You haven't enforced your contract. And until such time you enforce your contract, you're going to be sidestepping and you're going to be falling short of your dreams, because why should anybody else sign a contract with their life and their dreams if you haven't signed yours? Stop nexting everybody else. This is what kills sales. And sales is the transference of enthusiasm. This is what, when you try to sell your kid on, when I remember when trying to sell Mason on eating some better food than Costco pizza, really didn't work well when I was sitting eating a hot dog and a Coke, a Diet Coke at that. It's hard to lead from the front when you're not in front. Listen, you can be sitting in the back of the room and everybody's staring at you. How many of us know that feeling? When you get called out, you feel like you're at the back of the room. What did you do today to let your kids know that you love them? Well, I fed them. No. That's the known, predictable known. That's a predictable future. If you listen, I hope you're going to feed your kids. What are you going to do above and beyond? Goes back to the old story of the give me heat, I'll give you wood. So what do we do? How do we make this better? How do we turn this around? What do we start doing? We've got to start looking at where we're at. We've got to start taking our center. We've got to start taking our where do we stand right now? Where are you? What's the better in your day today? What's the better in your life today? What are you going to do better for you? And this is where meditation comes in. I'm so busy. Well, I bet you were busy yesterday too. and here. I'll bet $1. I'll bet $1 you'll be busy tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's the weekend. You'll get to sleep in, which will make you even more busy because you took some rest, and you'll still wake up tired, and you'll still wake up with so much stuff to do, and you'll still wonder why you haven't got stuff done. And you'll still be wondering. Stop calling me out. I love you, Christina. Listen, the only reason I can call you up is because this is me. I'm talking about me. I'm not pointing the finger out. There's three fingers pointing back. If you ever hear that story, when you point the finger at somebody else, you got three fingers pointing back. So you better check yourself there, Skippy. What I teach is it's the greatest thing in the world, is to be able to teach something so you can understand it. People ask me how I got so good. I've done 1,000 shows, 1,300 live shows. That's how I've gotten better. When you stand in front of an audience, you get better. How many audiences have you stood in front of? Now, live on stage, I've stood on stage in 30 plus countries. I've been translated into over 40 different languages. That was a great starting block. Probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 presentations a week. Then I did estate planning seminars twice a week for 6 years. 52 times 2 is 104. 104 times 7 is 800. And each one was 3 hours. So 800 times 3 is 2,400 hours. I got pretty good at that. How many hours have you done your presentation? How many hours have you learned to accept rejection? And rejection is only the fact that you nexted. Oh, I know they're not going to like it. You showed up with the energy to be rejected. You show up happy and joyful, they can't reject you. Only you all can allow rejection to hit you. That's why sales die, is you've already lost the sale before you showed up. Think about how you got together with your spouse. That took some pretty big sales, either on their part or your part. On mine, it took a lot of sales on my part. Transference of enthusiasm. My bride's an attorney. She's smart. She's brilliant. She has her own family business for 50 years when I met her. That's a pretty big fence to climb over. I had my businesses. I couldn't speak anything about higher education. But you know what I could do is I could make her laugh. And see, the one who controls the laughter controls the room. How much giggles get into your presentation? Well, that's not professional. You're not in a profession. Listen, let me make this very clear. You are not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur would go out, cut the throats of people around them, build their business, get it to $10 million and sell it and go start another one. That's the definition of an entrepreneur. You are an artist. Artists are allowed to laugh. Get that through your thick head and you'll have an amazing day. You think you have this feeling, somebody has put this into your head, that the next thing you're going to do is create a 6-figure income. You know how few people create a 6-figure income? Now, it's easy to do because it's all about staying in the game. The reason you can stay in the game is because eventually somebody better than you is going to come along and they're going to knock it out of the park and you're going to say, I sponsored them. Luck plays a big part in our profession. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. You've got to do the numbers. And until you do the numbers, you can't have the success. You got to do the numbers. And when you do the numbers, the challenge is you check out halfway through doing the numbers. But what if you just knew? If I did this for 10 years, I could have an income that I could pass on to my grandkids. 10 years, I'll have some fun. I'll have some laughs. I'll ask everybody, hey, listen, tell me your story. What's your joy? What's your pain? What can I help you with? Within 7 days, if something could happen, if something could change, what would you want to change? I might have a solution for you. It probably won't work for you. Maybe it would. You want to check it out? If you just stopped nexting, if you could just stop nexting, your life would change forever. Do you know what time your spouse is coming home today? That's a programmable future. What happens if they're 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late? You start panicking. What if they had a past history? Here's how the past shows up. What if their past history was they would go to the bar on the way home? They would go to the bar on the way home, and all of a sudden they're 20 minutes late. Their cell phone died. They couldn't tell you that they had a flat tire, and they get home and you read them the riot act going, so you stopped at the bar? They're like, what the hell are you talking about? I had a flat tire. Oh, you had a flat and then hell breaks loose. Because you decided to start nexting before they even got there. What if the unpredictable could happen? I've talked for years, and I said, you know how we need to have that idea? You know, when you have that idea that comes to you, that idea that you go, oh, wait a minute. I got the idea. Oh, this is so good. You know that moment? Do you know what happens in that moment? You finally shut down the traffic long enough of all of these thoughts, of all of these things going on, and you finally let in this new idea that's been standing at your front door going, hello, 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 you want a fresca? Hello. And it's been way, your greatness is as close as your skin. Your greatness is as close as your skin, and as soon as you slow down long enough, soon as you get into perfect harmony with what it is you want and not what you don't want, life changes forever. So how do you fix this? What do you do with this? Get up and do something different. Go to bed asking yourself 3 questions. What I do well? What could I have done better? And what talent, skill, or resource do I need to come into my life? If you believe in the law of attraction, then congratulations, where you're at, this is your thought. Congratulations, this is what you've attracted to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Where you are, who you are, the way you're feeling right now is all your thought, period, end of story. You can't blame one person. Nobody can piss you off without your permission. Nobody can make you happy without your permission. Nobody can make you average without your permission. Where you're at, it's your thought. Take some responsibility. Today, draw the line in the sand. I know I say that every day, but you get to do that every day. So today, draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to choose my energy. Oh, but you don't know all of the things I have and the things I have to do for somebody else. They're counting on me. So what? Do it in joy if they're counting on you. You allowed them to count on you. That's your fault. That's your responsibility. You don't have to do a damn thing for anybody. You've allowed yourself to take on that responsibility. So do your responsibility the way you should, with joy, with happiness, with love. Ooh, snap. This is about having more of what you want. This is not about getting onto this call and being average. This is not about getting on this call to be the same. This is not about getting on this call so that you can complain about yesterday. This is about what can you be in the present moment so you can allow the joy you want from your future, this joy that you want in the quantum field, this joy that you want that you're attracting, this big goal that you want that you're attracting. Give it some damn space. The reason this big goal can't show up is because you haven't given it big space. Big space. Give it big space. The second you give it big space, big things happen. It's when we get down into the little things. It's, oh, my pen is out of ink and my headphones are dead and my mouse, I got to recharge it. And I didn't stir up my ketones as much. And Mason had taken my gallon jug and he moved it. And I got to get a different hat and all this stuff. And I don't know why there's a dish towel in my office. And life sucks. Are you kidding me? I live on 30 acres of the most energetic property on the planet. I have people who come out to this place and walk these hallowed grounds, and they've left their energy here. And I get to step outside of my office here, and I get to look in every direction and see my friends and see my family because they've taken ownership of a tree here on the ranch. I get to go out and count each stone out in the driveway and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. These are the thousands of people who have poured through my life, who have poured through my Zooms, who have poured through my YouTubes. And I get to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I get to look at each one and see each one as an individual. You're waking up looking at your text going, I got to make phone calls today. I got to sell something today. I got to go be happy today. How do you fix all this? Just take a breath. Just take a breath for just a moment. Just get centered for just a moment. And in this center, start to feel a little something different. Start to feel that little voice inside of you. When I ask everybody, so where's your dreams located? Everybody goes, in my heart. They're probably in your ass, and because you've been sitting on it, they've become numb. It's in my heart. That's your logic speaking. You know where all your pain is? It's not in your heart. No, they broke my heart. No. They added enough energy to 30 trillion cells that you allow it to be centered in your heart. It's all in your body. There's a detox that needs to happen. How do you fix all this? You start journaling. I tried journaling. Ugh. Write it so that others can read it. Why do I say that? You can read your own chicken scratch. I hear that. I know that. I can read my own chicken scratch. When you write it slow enough that it is legible, two things happen. One, your brain slows down. Your brain slows down and you become conscious of what's going on the paper because you are nexting even in your conversation. You're like, wow, I don't even know what I just wrote. Listen, if the download is a download, if the download is a download, if the message is such a message that it's going to be downloaded to you, it is not going to leave you. It's not. It knows better. So start to journal in a way that others can read it. Write it clearly. Why do I say that? Because it even slows your brain down. We have to slow down long enough so we can get centered. And if we slow down and we write it neat so somebody else could read it, you could give it to a 7th grader and they could read it. It is legible. This way, you know why? Do you know why? Because when you slow down, you will think more clearly. You will think more succinctly. See, nobody's ever really told you slow down your journaling. Because what happens is that as you're writing the letter A and the word and then, and you're writing the letter A and, you're slowing down and giving yourself space, your brain space to come up with this other idea. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is even better. And the universe just keeps making it better and better and better. It's a form of meditation. If you can't meditate, write slowly. It will piss you off. It will aggravate you, agitate you. You're like, this is stupid. And I'll say, how's that working for you? How's the other one working for you? You've written down goals, you've written down dreams, and you're still suffering for them. You're still suffering, waiting on them. When would be a good time for your dreams to show up? See, there's a little thing Wallace D. Waddell said, it's not about doing certain things. I journal, I write every day, I meditate, I do all this stuff. No, it's about doing things in a certain way. And your way's not working. It's not working as fast as it can. Listen carefully. It's not working as fast as it can. It's not working as fast as you could allow it. And it's you and the allowing and the stopping, the nexting that would allow what's going to need to happen for all of your dreams come true. You're going to have to allow it to happen. And until you allow, and you're so tied up and you're so wound up and you're so, I got to do. Well, when you do, guess what you have all over you? Do. Slow down. What is it? Slow down, smell the roses. Stop and smell the roses. Slow down in your journaling. You want to change your life today in this moment? Slow down your journaling and watch how all of the thoughts keep piling up like one of those, God forbid, crashes on a snowy road in Colorado when the highway and a streak of ice and some fog and God forbid 700 cars pile up. That's your thoughts. Drop a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. You start to slow down and your thoughts are going boom, you got to feed the dogs and you got to do this and you got to do that, like boom, boom, boom. And they just keep piling up and piling up and piling up. The way you stop the pile up is you let them pile up. and you take your your magical hand of your thoughts, and you just go, whew, and you wipe them away and you start again. See, there's this thought that you have that if I'm super busy, good things will come to me. Well, unless you give good things space to show up, they're standing at the door going, hello, anybody home? All I hear is noise going on in there. Somebody being murdered in there. That sounds very loud and very, very crazy in there. Lots of screaming going on, lots of running going on, lots of doing going on in there. And it's like, I'm not even sure if we're supposed to be here. Could you imagine how many times have you ever showed up with somebody and they were having an argument? How many times have you gone over to your friend's house and they hi, come on in. And you're like, should we stay? Should we leave? Drop an L in the chat if you've ever been in an environment where you're like, should we leave? You guys okay? Could you imagine your dreams knocking outside your door? And they're like, should we leave? Your six-figure income. Holy Jesus. Oh my God. Do you hear what's going on in there? I think we should go. Just leave a note. Your six-figure income has left you a note. Excuse me. We'll be back when it's a little settled. We'll be back. That's what's happening to your six-figure income. Your perfect relationship. It's like, oh, geez. We'll leave a note. Just leave a note. Leave a note. Let them know we were here. Give him his gift certificate to Outback. Let him go. Maybe we'll meet him at Outback. Here's what is going to be required. I'm not saying you've got to do it, but here's the requirement. Allowing the unknown to happen. Allowing your unknown, and the unknown is the thing you want. That's the thing that drives me crazy. Is the thing that you want is unknown. If you want what you've never had, you're going to have to do the unknown, something you've never done. You're going to have to think a way you've never thought, the unknown. You're going to have to feel a way you've never felt, the unknown, to have the thing you've never had, the unknown. Why do you keep predicting it? I just don't get it. And I get frustrated with me because I suck at teaching it. It's got to be easier. I've got to come up with something different. It's why I say the same damn thing every day, a different way. I give it a new title. Maybe that'll draw you in. Maybe that'll get your attention. Maybe that'll get you to stop for just a second. But here's the formula. You want something you've never had before. Yes, yes. You're going to have to think a way you've never thought before. Yes, yes. Which will cause you to feel a way you've never felt before. Yes, yes. Which will make you have to do things you've never done before. Yes, yes. Will that make you scared like you've never been scared before? Yes, yes, yes. All of this is the unknown, and you keep wanting the known. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's my problem because I need to get better. I just can't point my finger and go, well, you're an idiot. How could you do the same thing you did yesterday and think you're going to get the thing you've never had before? It doesn't make sense. You keep nexting and it kills your sale to the universe saying, I want to buy that. And the universe says, you can't buy it. You're not qualified. You're not even here. You're trying to buy something over the phone. You're trying to buy something over the social media. I'm going to tell everybody I'm rich. I'm going to tell everybody I'm successful. Look at me. Ha, ha, ha. I've got a brand new shirt. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? I smile on my posts. People like me. See right through it. This is why a rewire is so critical. This is why when I get you into my world, if you allow me to flow into you and you flow into me and I get you to unwire that old story, I promise you, life breaks free. Now, depending on how big the old story is, it's going to be this monster. It's going to get so pissed off at you. It's going to come back with vengeance. It's going to come back with a rage because you say, well, I did that once. That's enough. Once isn't enough. How many years did it take you to get there? How long have you been working on that? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and you think a 20-minute session where I can literally unwire you, I can change the frequency. The challenge is that once I change the frequency, sometimes it's so abrupt, you're like, no. I need my old story. I need to next my life tomorrow. If I wake up in joy and happiness and I wake up and I can go walk around the park and do some meditation and I'm not tied to my today, I'm tied to my now. That's my identity. I don't know who I am. If I become vulnerable, then all of a sudden, man, I'm weak. No, that's a story you were bought. That's a story you bought and sold and locked up in a safe somewhere. That if you're vulnerable, you're weak. That's the farthest thing from the truth. That's such a BS story, a belief system story. There's no way that you can be weak when you're vulnerable. Now, you can be weak and an asshole when you start to say things that aren't true, that you make believe you're being vulnerable, and you tell people and you keep saying the same thing over. Well, no, I've had this past and this past has been a challenge. No. You haven't owned it. Once you own it, it sounds different. And the way you get to own it is you slow down. Take a breath and realize your greatness is waiting on you. And the only thing that you have to do are some of the things you're doing in a certain way. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing them in a certain way. That's what I do. I teach you how to do it in your certain way, not mine. I teach you how to have access to your incredible dreams, not mine. I've got mine. I'm working on mine. I've got bigger ones coming. So I work on me. And in working on me, I can guide you to work on you. It's not my, I don't teach you a damn thing. I'm just your guide. I'm just literally just your guide. Well, what are you going to teach me? Not a damn thing. I will help you awaken to your own greatness, which is what a mentor's responsibility is supposed to be, not to teach you and tell you what to do. If anybody tells you what to do, they're a coach, period, end of story. Period, end of story. Because my doing is different than your doing, and you can never do what I do. It's impossible. We can't share the same time and space. We definitely can't share the same space. But my version of time is different than your version of time because I operate on a different parallel in the universe with you. You're here, I'm here, you're here. We're running our own lives in our own lines. So I can never tell you what to do. I can only give you suggestions based upon where you're at, where I believe you'll have enough courage to make the next step. And when you decide that, freedom happens very quickly. So there's your conversation. Good morning, Fifi. There's your conversation for today. Begin to reduce the nexting in your life and become present. Do the unexpected. Don't know what's going to happen next. Have no idea what will transpire in your life. And I can promise you, in the unknown, when you set the intention of joy and happiness, set the emotional. When we activate on the emotional side, out of the logical side, out of the energetic thinking side, and we get into the emotional thinking side, the emotional awareness side, I can have happiness in this next moment. I don't know what it's looked like. Maybe it's Fee walking by the door, and I go, "Aw," and she looks at my door. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. Wallace D. Wattles, Science of Getting Rich. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could keep talking forever. I've gone over a little bit, 7 minutes. I apologize. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hey, listen, follow me more. If you want to get to the first week of the 12-week mastermind, go to buildabettermenow.com, buildabettermenow.com, and you'll first question, see if you can make it through the first question of the mastermind. And if the first question is tough, you can only imagine what day 72 is like. All right, everybody. I love you a ton. I appreciate you. I am your head forward-looking misfit. I will see you all where? At the next event. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Oh, the link in the bio, the 12-week mastermind, it's in the link in the bio, wherever the link in the bio is. But go to the link in the bio. I think it's the first link. It's free. It's no fee. Join it. Go take a look. Love you tons. Bye for now. And YouTube, I appreciate y'all. I love you tons. Have an amazing day. Again, there's no link in the bio. You would have to go to buildabettermenow.com. And if you want to learn about ketones and spiffing up your brain cells, upgrading your hardware, reach out to me for ketones. I love you tons.